Hello friends, welcome to my channel Small Big Things. I'm Dr. Wag and today's topic we are going to discuss is communication skills. Communication to be effective, you should have some tips which we are going to discuss now. Communication is exchange of information. In fact, you can say it's more than just about exchange of information. Communicating includes not only understanding the emotions and intentions of the speaker, but also convey your emotions and intentions to the speaker in the way you intended to speak. Communication is a two-way street. It includes set of skills. In these skills, you should have non-verbal communication indirectly, means your body language, your posture, your facial expressions, your movement, your action, the way you sit. The effective interpersonal communication helps you to deepen your connections to others and also to understand the emotions of others and convey your emotions to them. Effective interpersonal communication helps you to understand the emotion for teamwork, decision taking, and problem solving. It's a learned skill. You cannot learn it immediately. It comes over a time. For that, you have to follow something. It takes some time and efforts for your communication to be effective. The more effort you put in, the more spontaneous your communication becomes. And this spontaneity gives you the effectiveness in your speaking. So let us discuss some tips. Awareness. You should be aware of yourself, what you are going to talk. You should know what you want to talk, what you want to convey, whether it will work or not, what impact will give your words to the person with whom you are speaking. So, the self-awareness is very much important in communication skills. The another tip is you should be aware of the result. You should think of result. Effective communication should be in a direction where the situation will be win-win. Otherwise, you win the argument but you lose the relationship, and this communication is of no use. Speak on the facts. You should always stick to the facts and not on any herd or rumors. Your communication should be unbiased and unprejudiced. So, you are more clear when you speak. Keep the person in mind with whom you are talking. Try to put yourself in their shoes and understand their emotions, their intentions, how they will perceive the words you are saying. This will help you to know the person properly and put your words to convey the message the way you intended to speak, and no other meaning will come out of your communication. The next thing is your approach. While communicating with person, your approach should be humble. Your humble approach invites the person to listen you carefully. Your calmness and quietness is always helpful for you to convey your message well to the person who is listening to you. The next thing is tone of your speech. You should change your tone as per the situation and as per the age group you are talking to. Be open. While you communicate with others, always be open to listen the things and receive the feedbacks. These feedbacks will provide you background for next speech. Don't expect much, as you can't change the person in front of you and you can't change his mind or his emotions. So, accept the things and try to adopt yourself when you are communicating with others. Listen more. Usually, the people listen just to reply. But effective communication is not only giving a reply. Your reply should contain the emotions and words which will give sensation to the person listening to you that he is being heard and understood well. So, the 50% of your communication should be listening and not only talking. Do not show negative body language. Your body language always conveys the situation, whether you are listening to the person or not, whether you are interested in him in listening or not. So, always try not to show any negative body language. For example, crossing your hands, scratching your head, scratching your nose. These are some things which convey that you are not interested in listening, and this is disrespectful for the person who is talking to you. Do not interrupt. Never interrupt a person who is talking to you. Try to listen fully, because nobody likes to be interrupted. The interruption causes disconnection between the thought of process of the person who is talking to you, and it disconnects the link of his speech. If you want to interrupt for your queries, you can just do one thing. You ask whether you can interrupt him or not. Ask gently your queries. Listen to the answers carefully by nodding your head and by verbal command like yeah, This gives the confidence to the person you are talking with, and he is happy that you are listening him carefully with the proper involvement from your side. Think before you speak. Always think before you speak about the words, which words you are going to talk to present your feelings, your understanding to the person in front of you. Always think that how the words you are going to talk with the person will affect his mindset or his sensitivity. Your words should be in such a way that your presentation should genuinely say or comment that you care that person, you respect his feelings, and you are involving in his feelings. Be active listener. Only listening is different and active listening is different. When you listen or you hear only, you just hear and you are not involved in the process of thoughts of the person speaking to you. But when you are an active listener, you are actually involved in the feelings and you connect yourself to the person you are talking with you. The people who are good listeners are good speaker in their communication, and their speech is always effective because with active listening you are with a full understanding of the person in front of you. Always be neutral. Don't be defensive or attacking when you listen to any comments about you. Being neutral helps you to listen carefully what the person is saying about you. Think on it, plan for it, and implement. Don't be overexcited when the person in front of you makes out your mistakes, and making out some mistakes causes you to be defensive. But try to be neutral and transparent. This keeps the relation between you and the person with whom you are talking, and it indicates that you respect their comments and you try to implement their suggestions in your behavior or in your speech. Do not deviate from the topic of discussion. You always try to stick to the topic of discussion. The gossip or comments on the topics here and there while you communicate on the topic of different issue is useless, and this is a wastage of time for the both parties. Be confident of your ideas and comments. Being confident of your speech, your comments and your ideas gives the person in front of you the feeling that you are a trustworthy person. This will increase the trust of the people which they have in you and make the conversation flow freely. Always be receptive to get the feedback. You always try to get the feedback from the person about yourself. This improves your communication skills. This gives you idea what you have to actually listen to the person, what you have to concentrate on, and what you have to implement it on time. The communication method. You should know which communication method will be more useful and effective for your communication. There are different types of communication which are useful for effective communication. Out of these, which you have to use is your skill. There are different age groups. There are different criteria of the listeners with different backgrounds like religion, their understanding, so on. Shake hand firmly. Always shake hand firmly at the beginning of your communication or at the end of your communication. While shaking hand, your handshake should be firm. It should not squeeze the hand of the person in front of you, or it should not be too weak. Weak handshake presents that you are weak on your part. The important tip of the communication is treat each other with respect. That is the main thing which the communication should have, because if you don't respect the person in front of you, then your body language will automatically tell that you are not interested in him. So, respect each other. Your speech should not be so often or so long. Do not volunteer for others, because when you volunteer for others, you may not convey the message what they want to tell, and this gives the wrong message to the listener. Always respect confidentiality. Keeping speech confidential is very much essential of the effective communication, because if you speak the content of your speech here and there that will not bear any importance, or the people may not trust you to tell you anything. Your behavior as an active listener and speaking to the person in such a way that they should be always free to talk to you, even their confidential things. Challenge the behavior and not the person. And remember one thing, it's okay to make mistakes sometime, because any person always listen, always grow, always learn from his mistakes. You can make your speaker free and confident by your presentation of body, showing that you are very keen, you are eager to listen what he or she is going to talk with you, by nodding your head, smiling intermittently, commenting verbally, yes, yeah, sitting on your chair just front. Keep your face slightly to the left side and keeping your right ear next to the person. This indicates you are really interested in listening to him or her. So friends, this is all about communication skills. Put your queries and comments. Like my channel and subscribe for regular updates. Bye bye.